All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning. If you're listening to this first thing in the morning when it posts, if it's later on in the day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, as Jim Carrey, The Truman Show, used to say. This is Friday Thoughts. This is just me kind of get things off my chest if you're new here. It just kind of paired up with our Tennessee Tuesdays podcast that I actually do with my wife, Babs, Tracy. But this is just kind of my thoughts. It's kind of a therapy thing for me. So welcome if you're first time here. If you're back, y'all know the deal, the program. Today, I'm talking about risk. I've had a lot of this going through my mind this week, and just taking risk. I get a few messages. I get a few messages a day. From people that either find the YouTube channel or, find me on Instagram and just kind of either catch up on the story or they've been following up on the story and they finally reach out. But one of the biggest questions, is I really want to get out of where I'm at, or I have this problem with this and I want to achieve this, but I just don't know how to do it or what's on the other side. How do I do it? Nobody can tell you that. Nobody has the answer. And that is because it's a risk. You're taking a risk to leave everything you've ever known. Your 9 to 5, your just daily cycle of getting up and doing a job, or, your weekends of going to a soccer game. Just, you're taking a risk daily. Like the minute you wake up, you're taking a risk. You walk out your front door, you're taking a risk. You're driving in your car, you're taking a risk. But we take all these steps to minimize those risks, right? We try to do, drive your car safely. You're aware of everything else going around. You try to be a safe driver, so you're minimizing your risk. So the same thing that I try to explain to people is like, look, if you go back to that vlog when we left California, like after the pool party or whatever, and I'm almost in tears and I'm just like, I don't know, because I feel like it's all on my shoulders. I'm taking this gamble. I'm moving my family across the country. I'm making my kids leave their friends at home. I'm leaving everything Tracy and I had ever known, leaving a cushy 9 to 5 job, where we try to tell ourselves, oh, it's consistency though. I'm always going to get a paycheck. Like this is like, yeah, I lied to myself for a while about that. I left all that behind and I was taking the biggest risk of my life and moving the family across. But I took steps beforehand as best I could to try to minimize the risk, to try to make sure things were going to work out. If you want to call it a side hustle, but my passion was video and everything. And I worked on video for 3 or 4 years prior to us actually leaving, because I knew that's what I wanted to do on the other side. I was sick of working a 9 to 5. I was sick of putting on a suit and tie. I was sick of dressing up and working for somebody else, making whatever I made while they made what they made. Like I was sick of just working for someone else. And I really wanted to work for myself and make my own things happen. No different than starting the coffee. Like once we got out here, I was like, look, I've always wanted to start coffee. Need to continue my dad's thing. Like, we're going to make coffee. I took a risk. Like, we started it and threw it out there. We're barely getting anywhere with it, but it's going. And I know it's going to take time and patience to get there, but it's another risk. So I put whatever steps I could in front of that risk and made sure I was checking boxes. Like, cool, okay, if I'm going to do videos, like I could do wedding videos. There's a great market out there for wedding videos. Hey, I could do content on this. Hey, like just lining things up to try to minimize that risk. So if we did get out here, at least I had something to like underneath me to kind of start running with. But the problem is so many people are just scared to take that risk, and that holds them back. Like, I know not everyone can just jump or just go into the next thing, but taking those small steps and starting that side hustle or starting something else that you want to do, that's risky in itself, because now you're taking time away from family, taking time away from other things, but you're investing in yourself, and you're minimizing that risk on the other side. So it's always interesting when I get that question of, hey, I just, I don't know what to do. How do I know it's going to work out? I can't answer it. You just have to take that risk and just go for it, right? I mean, it's no different than jumping out of a plane. You're taking that risk of skydiving, but every person that I've talked to that has done it said they do it all over again. They're hooked immediately just because of that feeling. But it's that fear of the risk of what's on the other side or what could happen. I guess we're telling ourselves, which goes back to always telling ourselves, the what ifs. We tend to focus on the negative sides. The what if it doesn't work out? What if I don't get a job? What if my side hustle doesn't work? We rarely, we love negative. Everyone loves negative. Everyone loves to leave negative reviews and negative feedback. But when you think about the positive side of things, what if my side hustle works and I can do that as my 9 to 5, or I can do it only on the weekends and then I get to hang out the rest of the week? Or what if it starts producing income? Or what if that leads to another opportunity? We don't leave positive thoughts very often. We're always focused on the negative. So if you could start thinking about that positive side of things and checking some of those steps off to minimize that risk, it'll work out. I know Kobe had an interview a long time ago that I listened to, and he's talking about a lot of people fear, I don't remember what it was. If it was fearing the game or their performance, but either way, you have to do it. So if you go to the game and let's say he was talking about a game, he succeeds. He has a great game. Great. Guess what? You got to get up the next day. You got to do the exact same thing to get the same performance and the same results. If you fail, guess what? You still got to get up the next day. You got to perform and you got to do things a little bit better to get the results. So either way, going into it, whether there's a good side or a bad side, if you're looking at the negative or the positive, you got to face the fear and just go for it, because there's no finish line. That's what I'm trying to get to is there's no finish line. So some people think that, if they ask me hey, I need to get out of here. I need to get over there. I need to get the easy life. It's not just checking out and getting the easy life. If you want to start a side hustle or take on risk and do your own thing, or, move across the country and start all over again, you got to go out. You got to meet people. You've got to network. You got to find new doctors. You got to find new dentists. You got to find new friends for your kids. You got to find new soccer teams. You got to find new churches. You got to find all this stuff. It's not like you just get to check out. There's so much work still to be done, even though you think you're in this bad spot and you're going to, the grass is greener on the other side. When you get to the other side, you got to make sure the grass stays green. So a lot of people I guess what I'm trying to say is when they ask me that question of how I did it or how I found the courage to take the risk and just check out, and maybe they think this is some I don't know, some type of retirement life or something, things get easier. It doesn't. You got to keep going. Granted, there are pieces of it that make things easier to operate and move forward, but you got to keep moving forward, one foot in front of the other. So that was just kind of a question that's been popped up, and it's always sat with me that I've never really been able to answer it because it is risk. You just have to take on the risk, and putting those steps in place, putting one foot in front of the other is the only way you're going to tackle it. I mean, we don't do anything at all without putting one foot in front of the other. So really, that's all that's been on my mind this week. Just how I could answer that. And I think that's the best way I could. Hopefully that made sense. Appreciate y'all being here. I know it's Friday. This is a big day for us. Mackenzie is graduating today. My 18-year-old is graduating from high school. This is wild. I can't even wrap my head around it yet. But it's going to be fun. I'm excited. She's excited. We couldn't be more proud of her. She's done such a great job, especially with moving across the country and settling in new. And just, if I ask her, would you go back? probably the first year she'd say, yeah, maybe I would, but it's a hard no now. Like she would never set foot back there again. So very proud of you. Mackenzie will never listen to this probably because you think it's embarrassing your dad does a podcast, but super proud of you, chick. You have made your father proud. Can't wait to see where you go in these next steps. I think it'll be fun. I think we can get you involved with content and digital stuff behind the scenes, not in front of the camera. I know you don't like in front of the camera, so we'll get something going for you. But we are all very proud of you. This will be fun tonight for graduation. Thank goodness the rain held up because we have a very busy, clunky weekend. And if they had postponed graduation, I don't know what we would have done. There might have been a chance I might have missed it because on Sunday we have a wedding. And I've never been faced with that one before. That would be a challenge. But anyways, that is it. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We appreciate y'all being here. That is it from East Tennessee, y'all.